because I've been naughty once again. I shouldn't be driving this car without it being on Three Jacket Reviews, but here we are. This is a 2019 Seat Ibiza 1 litre MPI SE technology. Welcome to Contingency Reviews. So I've been filming quite a few cars at Langley Prestige near Colchester over the last couple of days, and this one has just come into stock. The Mark V Seat Ibiza, this is a Mark V, was introduced in 2017, and you can still buy a brand new one of these today. This is one of the least powerful engines these cars ever had. It's a 1 litre normally aspirated 3-cylinder with 79 horsepower. So it's not the fastest car in the world. There was actually, when the car was launched in 2017, an even less powerful version of this engine, but I think that was replaced in 2019. This is an early 79 brake horsepower engine. The even lower powered engine was 73 brake horsepower. It was from the Volkswagen Up and Seat Mii and Skoda Citigo. Above that, there is a 94 brake horsepower 1 litre turbo. That's still in production. This 79 brake horsepower engine is not. Above that, there originally was a 113 brake horsepower 1 litre turbo. That was changed, I think, in about 2020 for a 113 brake horsepower 1 litre turbo, but just this month, at the time of recording, they've replaced it with a 113 brake horsepower version of that engine. Not really sure why. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. Steering is quite light in this car, as you'd expect from an electric system, which does help with parking. But it does have a bit more weight to it when you're going a bit faster. It's not my favourite sort of feel. I mean, maybe the FR model's got steering differently tuned or something, I'm not quite sure. This 79 brake horsepower engine it's alright. It's not the fastest thing. I mean, you'd have to go for one of the turbo engines, and actually Seat have realised that, and they have discontinued everything apart from the 94 brake horsepower and the 113 brake horsepower engines. You can't even get that sort of 1.5 that is in a lot of other Volkswagen models anymore. That was very briefly available on the FRs, but it's not available anymore now. Yeah, it's quite a nice car to drive, really. It's not as firm as I was expecting. So it's often are a little bit on the firm side, but this one is quite comfortable, really. You know, for a lot of people, this is all that you need. So I think this little car does look quite good, particularly in this colour. This is a really low mileage example. It's done less than 12,000 miles. SE technology is quite a strange specification. We've only got 2 electric windows in this car, but we've got rear parking sensors and what looks like a sort of rear diffuser on it, which is nice. I think this is quite a nice looking car. I think actually the facelift ones with the sort of different Ibiza script on the back, I'm not sure that looks as good as this. Maybe I'm just a sort of traditionalist or something in that regard, but I don't know. Let's have a look in the boot. It's quite a light sort of boot. And there we go. Just got to move some of this stuff out of the way. Oh, we've got a space saver spare in here as well. That's fantastic, viewers. It's actually quite a big boot. It's 355 litres, which for a little super mini like this is really good. That's bigger than some of the class in the class above. Big hump to sort of get stuff over into the back, but that's pretty normal for a car like this. What have we got in here? Have we got any boot light? Yes, we do. It's not an LED one though. Right. Okay, so switch hands for a second to close the door. It's quite normal for cars in this class to have sort of acres of hard plastic on the door cards, and this one absolutely does. 100%. I also got windy windows, but a lot of you, that won't bother you, I don't think. And nice big door bins at the back. So yeah, not the most inspiring interior really. It's okay. It's actually got a light headliner and sort of kind of white details, so it's not really dark in here. You could get a sunroof actually, which I'm quite surprised about. But this actually does feel a little bit better than a lot of the modern interiors in cars that I've seen. You can also get some dashboard highlight accents in contrasting colours, which is good. Because unrelenting black is just not my favourite. Because this isn't an excellence model, we don't have a sort of centre armrest for the driver or anything. No sort of cubbies, but it makes the car very simple. 12-volt socket is there, and I've got 2 cup holders, which is maybe all you need. I prefer an Excellence or Excellence Lux myself, but that's just, you know, just me. So, that's quite nice features actually here. We've also got this enormous touchscreen. Let's close the door. Got automatic lights as well. Don't know if the wipers are automatic. Often when the wipers are automatic in these Volkswagen Group cars, it doesn't actually say on the stalk. We have though got cruise control. The steering wheel's very familiar because it's almost the same as the one which was in my Mark IV Seat Toledo facelift, which actually does share some parts with one of these. One thing it doesn't share is the mirror switch, which has been changed now, although that is exactly the same. So are the stalks, and the steering wheel is very similar but not exactly the same. This though is a much better system than one I got in my car. Got Android and Apple CarPlay in this, I think, as well. I'll just check the size of this. Yeah, that is a 9.2 inch colour display. It's a shame that some of the buttons, which are physical buttons on the kind of the outside of here, on the earlier versions of this system, are now touch buttons, but never mind. I don't know where to start. There's just loads and loads of things you can look at. You've got navigation, telephone. That's actually just a one page, which is good. Full link, which allows you to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you want to, which is brilliant. Is there a back button, or am I going to have to struggle? Let's just try that. There we go. Yeah, navigation. This is an old system that Volkswagen Group cars have been using for absolutely ages. Won't go too much into this because we'd be here forever. Vehicle, I think this gives some information. Yeah, there we go. Information about kind of fuel economy and stuff like that. For some reason, it's not showing anything long term. Someone's obviously reset this, so that's not that exciting, really. I think we'll go back to the menu then. See if there's anything else interesting. There probably isn't. Images. Gosh, you can then put stuff in here. From USB sticks. I've actually got 2 USB ports here, and they're not even the USB-C ones, they're the standard USB, which I prefer, but some of you might agree to differ about that. There's all these buttons around the gear lever. It's just a 5-speed manual because this is the 79 brake horsepower version. I think it only came with a 5-speed manual. But there's other stuff obviously here that you get on higher models. You don't get on this, but never mind. Some of you will pleased to see we've not got a start button. We've actually got a normal key, which is good. Let's see if the secret mission documents go in the glove box. Actually, we've got everything here because this car's done so little mileage. Everything is here. We've got this sort of navigation disc and everything, but the CD player annoyingly is in the glove box. It's the same thing as my old Toledo. Let's see if I can close this. Oh no, I can't because the CD player's in the way. Rubbish. Mind you, the door bins are quite large in this. They're really big actually for a little car like this. That's impressive. Also, it does feel quite well made. There's no soft touch plastic or anything in here. No, not the door tops, not top of the dash or anything, but you don't necessarily expect that in a car like this. One thing I would like is some reach adjustment for the steering, and this car doesn't have that. Also, we don't get climate control, we just got normal aircon, but again, some of you prefer that, like there's people who probably prefer this kind of normal key. Actually, I'm quite keen on a normal key myself as well. Normal handbrake, which is good. I like the design of these mirrors. They're not power folding or anything, but they do look good. Yeah, in fact, the whole interior, it would livened up a bit if we just had some coloured accents. I mean, this is okay, this thing here, which feels all right, but that would be even better, but never mind. It's not going to sort of offend anyone, is it? Which is with lighter coloured seats. And it's nice and comfortable as well. Yeah. Actually, we've gone through faster than the interior of this car than normally we do on contingency reviews. It's got a sort of a normal screen in here as well. And my Mark 4 Toledo was like that as well, just a normal black and white screen. If memory serves me correctly, I think we can just sort of cycle through with these buttons. There we go, some places that the navigation has been. I think, okay, is that? Yes, it is. Right. Do we have anything else we're going to play? Audio, telephone, vehicle status, driving data. That might be interesting. As the average consumption. Okay. Anything else? All kinds of things in there. But yeah, someone's reset this entire sort of system. So that's my 2 miles of driving. I've done 35.8 miles per gallon. Probably not going to do very good fuel economy anyway, because my cooling temperature is quite low because it's started the engine. That's it, viewers. Not much else to say really. Well, let's go look at the engine, shall we? So here we go, a little 1 litre 3-cylinder MPI engine developing 79 horsepower. This is actually more reliable, this one, than the turbocharged TSI engines. They have a wet timing belt, so we might get a wet timing belt alert at some stage, but this one's not. It's not got a wet timing belt, which is brilliant news if you're looking for one in the second-hand market. This one's on so little miles anyway that it wouldn't be too much of a problem. Coolant reservoir is changed from the one that Volkswagen and Audi used to use for years. But the load of space, because the engine's so tiny, it only requires, I think, about 3.5 litres of oil, which is pretty crazy. So they can be quite economical, these engines, if you drive them sensibly. Although, because I think this car does 0 to 60 in about 15 seconds, you might be driving it a little bit hard. Front fog lamps on this one as well, which is nice. In fact, the design is really pleasant on this car. I think it's the best looking of the kind of 4 cars that share this platform, which is the Audi A1, the Volkswagen Polo, the Skoda Fabia Mark 4, and this. Right, I suppose you better go for another drive, viewers. So we're up to some high speeds now, about 50 or so, and yeah, the steering, it's weighted up a little bit. It's still not as kind of weighty as I'd like a car like this to be at this sort of speed, but very few people who drive a normally aspirated 1 litre Ibiza are bothered by that kind of stuff. Gear change is really nice. I mean, it helps with this car's only done about 12,000 miles. But yeah, it seems running enough. You keep it on the boil. I actually really like this little car. I'm not so keen on the Polos that these are based on. I have driven a Polo GTI, and I have driven a Skoda Fabia Mark IV as well, which were both in 2022. I drove those, and I don't know. I prefer this, even though this is less powerful than either of those. I kind of prefer this, and that's quite interesting. Considering the GTI is, I think, a 2 litre. So yeah, I actually quite like this. You know, we used to drive a lot of things like Seats and Skodas on the channel, even more than we do so now. Back in the early days, when starting in 2018, and I used to source quite a few Seats for clients. Maybe these little Ibizas will be, you know, when the prices of them come down a bit, they'll be really good little cars if you can, you know, live with the wet timing belt issues. Let's now look at some trim levels to the Mark V Ibiza. There was an S model, which was, I think, discontinued quite early on, very basic. The SE, that has an 8.2-inch screen, although this is an SE Technology, which is a 9.2-inch screen. There are also other SE derived models earlier on, the SE Design Edition. And then the sporty ones, the FR, that comes with, I think it's 17-inch wheels as standard. The FR Sport is 18-inch wheels. There was also an FR Edition a while ago. The ones that I'm interested in, though, really, are the Excellence and Excellence Luxe. The Excellence Luxe would be my sort of car. I forgot to say earlier on that there was a version of the FR available with a 1.5 TSI engine that is about 147 horsepower, but that was made very, very briefly. I think only in 2018 for some reason. It's some kind of limited edition. So virtually all the ones of these you're going to find are this 1 litre engine, either the MPI or TSI versions. So viewers, should you consider a Mark V Ibiza? Well, I mean, it would be, you know, good fun to have one of these cars, a bit more powerful engine. Obviously, you've got to watch the wet timing belt. But yes, I've been quite impressed because I've never driven one of these before. It seems similar to a Polo or my old Seat Toledo Mark IV that was 2 years older than this. But the dials and things are exactly the same. It's really, really strange in that respect. But this is a much more modern car built on a more modern platform. So probably this is a better bet than one of those if you want the kind of more up-to-date experience. And the facelifted ones, which came in, I think, around 2021, I think it was the facelift, they're probably even better, although the script on the back I'm not so keen on. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. And we shall see you again very soon, or possibly not very soon. I mean, these are last-minute reviews, so who knows when the next one is going to be. Thank you once again.